being transparent at all times. This was a really interesting topic that woke me up out my sleep. And my guest, the Queen, Angela Thomas Smith, is my host for tonight. So, Angela, are you on to be with unmuted? Miss Unique?
I am. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. I just want us to be a little transparent tonight on this topic because a lot of people were telling me today that I picked a bad topic. They're going over this good topic when nobody's going to chime in. It doesn't really matter if they do or they don't. I'm just going to be transparent and speak what's on my heart and about this topic. How do
Right.
you like the topic? Do you practice what you preach or do you just say it to win people over?
So I'm the type of person that if I say something, I want to lead by example. I want to do what I say, and when I say something, I mean it. So I mean what I say, and I want to do what I say. So I'm just someone that lead by example. See, I can't tell people to do one thing and then do something else. So I think it's going to be a good
Well,
topic.
well, my thing about the topic is, we as individuals, we say a lot of things, but no, they preach it, but they don't utilize what they tell everybody. In everything, we have to find peace. Yes, I can speak on myself as well as you. Do we practice what we preach? A lot of times we do. It depends on the situation. But a lot of times, 100% of the time, I do. Do I support? Yes. I practice what I preach. I support. Do I care enough to let a person know how important they is in my life? Yes, I preach that and I live by it. Do I show compassion? Yes, I do. Do I say things that is hilarious to make people laugh? Yes, I do. But I don't do it in a negative way. I try to pour life into other people. What do you think about that?
So I definitely am someone that loves to empower, encourage, and inspire others. So of course, I'm always going to be that person that tries to uplift. I never want to tear people down. I want to come from a place of empowerment. So that's my take. I operate in something that I call the E3 experience, and it is educate, empower, and encourage. I believe that when I come in people's presence, I want to leave them, feeling like they have been encouraged, they have been a little educated, and they have been empowered to stay on their journey. You never know what the next person is going through. So I never try to tear anyone down. Have I always been like that? No, I can't say I have. But I can say that I'm so glad that I'm not the person that I used to be. And because of some things that I have endured and some things that I've went through, it has taught me that, it's better to do what you say. If you're gonna say something, then you got to be about that. So that's why I do what I say.
The word, but what people are going to do about what they say. And if you would like to join this conversation, I don't want nobody to think that I left the number out. So if you would like to dial in and join the conversation, you can dial in at 605-562-0444 or 717-734-6904. Press 1 pound to listen, star 2 to join the conversation, brought to you by Ngozi Time Multimedia. You know, I I am who I am. You are who you are, and this world would be a lot nicer if people said the words and did what they say they was gonna do. It's always what people do that don't match up with what they say. I always learned that always do what you sell. If you sell a pitch, are you gonna go and do that task you want everybody else to do, or you gonna live by what you preach to everybody, or do you just want everybody else to do it and not get your hands dirty in any kind of way? What do you think about that?
Well, a little bit about me. I was a store manager at one point. One thing my mother instilled in me was that you treat people how you want to be treated. In doing that, I've always been in some type of management position wherever I've been. But I'm always comfortable in my skills and the things that I learned, that I don't mind teaching and showing other people the ropes. So, if I expect someone else to do something, I have to do it too, because I have to lead by example. So there was a point in time where, some of the ladies didn't like to clean the restroom, but we all used the restroom. So I had to show them that, yeah, hey, we all got to do this because we all use it. So I have to get in there and do some of the things that, some people think they above, because once we get to a certain level, a certain position, some people think that they don't have to do certain things. But I've always been that type of person where I don't want to, make myself come off as if I think I'm better than someone else. Because my mama told me, she say, the same roads you pass on the way up, the same people you bypass, she said, them the same people you gonna pass on your way down. So never think you're better than anyone. So that thing has stuck with me. And one thing that my apostle tells us now, and I try to live by that, she say, that you do for others, God would do for you. So that's what I try to do.
That's a true statement. Well, how do you feel when people always saying or preaching, do this, do that, and they never do it?
Well, one thing about me is, if I'm given a task, I'm going to complete that task, because I believe in completing assignments. I believe that, whether anybody else do it or not, there's always someone looking at me. So if I'm tasked to do something, I'm going to do it, because you never know who may be watching, and who may need what you're giving. So I don't look at what other people do, because I'm not them. I have my journey, and I have to focus on what is assigned to me. Yes, sometimes I may not want to do it, but if I'm tasked to do it, I'm going to try to follow it through. But if I'm ever at a space where I feel like, hey, I've had enough, this is not what I want to do no more, then I know how to, move on. Because one thing that the Creator has given us is wisdom. So that's how I try to operate. I try to operate with gratitude and with wisdom.
And that's a true statement and spoken word that came from you. One thing that I learned in this life is when you don't live or practice what you preach, all you hear and all I hear is hypocrisy. That's it. You know, it goes to one ear and out the next because, you know, I've dealt with that all week. Everybody wants to tell you what to do or try to watch what you do and they're not doing it. You know, I'm going to always let what I do line up with what I preach. And that goes for me being at work, me being on this radio broadcast, and I can actually say that this last year, me being on WBNN and even being on the Groove, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. I can actually say that I lived up to what I said I was gonna do because even with me being the commissioner, do I call in to people's shows? Yes, I do. I did that. Did I support? Yes, I did. Did I take the initiative when we lost people during the past year? A lot of times I didn't even know people, but I sent flowers. I supported the family. I showed compassion. Did I have to do it? No, but that's not for everybody because everybody is not unique. I'm one of a kind. I'm genuine. I do things out of the ordinary. I don't want recognition or a pat on the back. That's just the love and support that I have for individuals as a whole coming from. It's not the ordinary, it's unique. Do I have to announce everything? I take it upon myself to say, did anybody, I can count on one hand, and that hand is a full. All the losses I had, 14 in 1 year, and still was climbing. How many people supported me? They didn't have to. I didn't ask them to. But just having empathy for my fellow person, male or female, I'm being transparent and I'm putting it out there. It's just, I supported everybody's show, everybody on WBNN. I supported their shows for the year in and out. I didn't have to. No, I did not. But how many of those people just reached out and said it was a few? And I really can say that I appreciate the ones that did reach out. But out of the 22, maybe 6 reached out to me. That spoke volumes to me. And it resonated with my soul that I know it's not about me. It's not about what I do. It's about, do you really practice what you preach? Everybody pick and choose whose souls they call in. Do they really practice what they preach? They want you to call in to their souls, but do they take out 3.5 seconds just to call in to just say, I support your soul? Some people don't even know who I am. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't even know what my show is about. A lot of people don't know what your show is about. A lot of people don't know what half of the people on WBNN show is about because they don't tune in. So do they actually practice what they preach, or do they just do it for recognition? That's the question. And if you would like to chime in to this conversation, you can dial in at 605-562-0444, ID 546-1150. Press 1 pound to listen, star 2 to join the conversation. Brought to you by Ngozi Time Multimedia. We have one caller in queue. Can you tell me who you are and where you're calling from?
Hey, this is Rhonda Walker, the talker. How are you? And I just came in the house out of the rain, and I'm hearing your conversation, and I'm guilty, so I said, let me call in because you're being transparent. So someone like me should be transparent. I'm not sure if I've been on this longer than you have with Dr. O, but I have listened to you often. I don't think, but maybe once or twice that I called in, because you talk a lot of spiritual stuff, and that is not at all my field of expertise. So I listen and learn from you. I don't know if you were listening last night because my phone was acting up, so the call got dropped, and I had to call back in, and I wasn't paying attention to the prompts like sometimes I do. But I had explained last night I have a serious sleeping problem. Recently I won a case, or two cases, but I won the last of the cases that I've been fighting for 4 years for the tenant that threatened me with a gun and pulled a gun on me. And you don't realize how traumatic that can be until you've gone through something like that. And being that I've gone through it more than once, it's really taken a toll on me, where I have nightmares 1 to 4 times a night. So even doing the show every Monday it takes an effort, because when you know and I know that when we finish this show, you don't just hang up and go to sleep. You have to wind down. And so by the time I wind down, it might be 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then I'm back up at 6 to then go to work as a teacher in North Philly. You're absolutely right. This is my first time hearing that you were even going through anything. Part of that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Unique, part of that is we're not really permitted to communicate with each other, in the text group. So I don't even know people's phone numbers to contact them. And I had no idea that you were going through any type of situation where you might have been losing people or going through anything, because I would have reached out. And I think that some of us, I know me, but I don't want to speak for anybody else, they can call in. So many of us are in a survival type mood. We're not thriving, and this has sort of been the case ever since COVID. It's like you go to work just to pay bills, not to save, not to enjoy, and you're picking and choosing what you can pay and what you can't pay, because everything's going up in price and things like that. And then all you need to do is be hit with a car repair bill, which I was just hit with a gigantic one a few months back, or a sickness, that slows you down, or maybe a kid needs something, or repairing your home, so many of us, many people are like paycheck to paycheck, and many people have never experienced that before. And in my opinion, for my experience, it just seems to be getting worse. So nobody sees me, nobody hears from me, only the kids at the school. And it took a lot of effort to say, I'm going to go and teach full time. People don't see me on the weekends unless they need something. If I knew you needed something, I would have stopped everything I was doing to try to be there or support you. But I don't go out to party. I don't do karaoke anymore or anything else. So I'm sorry to hear that you were going through something. I'm glad that you're sharing. Last night, I had one of our hosts come on, and I didn't even recognize her voice, because I am in serious survival mode and trying to deal with a lot of different attacks. And I'm a fighter, so I put all my energy into fighting these things. I pray too, but I've always grown up believing that God helps those who help themselves. He's always going to be on time, maybe not just in your time, but he really helps the people he sees really trying to help themselves. I always do everything I possibly can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let me clarify something.
Go right ahead.
Even though I was going through, I never miss the beat because I know whose I am and who I belong to. I never suffered through any of it. It gave me strength to help the next person. And that's one thing that my show is about, helping those in need. If long as I can say one word that can bless somebody's soul during my shows, whether I'm out in the community or whatever, God always said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." At the end of the day, I'm not doing it to gain monetary gifts or anybody to pour into me, because my savings account is being filled in heaven. Money don't make me or break me down here on earth. That's not, yes, it helps us, but I don't focus on using nobody to put money in my mailbox or nothing like that. My gift is to spread love, and that's priceless.
Yes, yes. And I hear that from you. Like I said, the times I have listened to you, and I have listened, I'm just not that type of, I believe a higher being. I am spiritual, but you have it on a whole nother level. It sounds like you were raised up in a church. You know what I'm saying? And I was just the opposite. Like, literally, my parents argued about which church we were going to be allowed to go to. And I have listened to you. I just haven't called in because I'm like, when you're saying all the stuff that you're saying, and it's very useful, and it sounds like it's coming from the heart and soul, I don't have anything valuable to add to what you're saying. So that's why I don't push the button to chime in. Same thing with some other hosts. Some of the hosts are so thorough in the things that they're saying. They don't need my comment to break their thought, because you know what? I just thought about this, Unique. I remember one time I called into, I think it was Kate Blossom's show, and maybe Dr. O will remember. And whatever she was talking about, and I was new, so I didn't know any better. And it's like, oh, callers call in. And I called in and started talking politics, like you all know that I do. And I had to catch myself, because I was like, the show, I called in about politics, and it was like I started talking about apples, and she was talking about pineapples or regular leafy salads. Like, I was like way off. You follow me? And I had to catch myself afterwards, and Dr. O had to say, well, she was talking about such and I was like, oh, I just thought we just called in and supported one another. So I've always kept that in mind, that if I don't have anything to say about what you all are actually talking about, or the subject, and I can't really add real value, I don't want to just be talking because I have lips, or pushing a button to call and maybe breaking the train of thought, then I just listen and don't say anything. But I'm quick to go straight to politics and straight to Philadelphia. You all know me. That's where my passion is. That's where the generational wealth is. But thank you for sharing. I'm sorry to hear that you had been going through anything. You seem like, to me, like you said, because, like, again, I listen, you're such a strong person, and I never once picked up that you were going through, anything, but I did get that you're the type of person that's very spiritual and loves helping people. So do I, but I don't talk about that part of my life. Just being a teacher keeps me going. That's my way of giving it back.
Come on and say, first of all, they did one walk. There's a lot of hope. Walk pageant, so, and support. Don't lie, don't lie. One that supported, you're from, with there's noise, they know not to come on my network with no noise in it. So, really appreciate Wanda walking her truth. Trust me, Wanda, this is a commission. We know, I'm going to details the way we do our business. We know who supports and who doesn't.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I thank Wanda for coming on the show, and this is not the ordinary, it's unique show. We all go through things. I understand that, Dr. O, but it doesn't hurt for you just say, call in and say, I support the show. You can hang up. That's good if anything, we don't know who's out there in the airways. We don't know who's listening, only you know that, but I appreciate her for coming on. And my guest and my host, Queen Angela, we got another call in queue, and we're going to keep right on rolling. Calling to you in queue, can you tell me who you are and where you calling from?
Hello, my darling Unique. It's Ava Holly. How are you?
I'm blessed.
I can so resonate with all your trials and tribulations, and I think and pray for you every day. But basically, I'm going through a lot right now too, and I wanted to just call in and support you and say hello, and I'm here.
Yes, thank you, Ava, and I know your show is tomorrow, and Queen Angela's on the phone with me on this. So, is there anything you would like to ask me and Queen Angela?
No, I don't want to ask you anything. I just want to say something about Angela. She is so much to me. It is so amazing, and I know Dr. Ngozi was a big part of her letting loose and getting out to where she is. She is just amazing. For those of you that don't know her, check her out, author Angela Thomas Smith. She's been on the billboard in New York many times. She's gotten me on that billboard. She is an author, a poet, and she is just amazing. So that's what I have to say about Miss Angela, because I love her and I love you, Yumi.
Thank you so much for
thank
supporting
you.
us tonight.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you
Love
too.
you too. We're gonna jump right in. And Angela, is it anything that you would like to say about the show tonight? As far as, we're being transparent tonight. Do you practice what you preach, which I know you do? Do you say it to win people over, or are you just speaking your truth?
So one thing about me is sometime, and I've gotten better at this, sometime I may come off a little overbearing, because one thing about me, if I see a gift and a talent within you, one thing I do is I push. And some people are not used to being pushed outside of their comfort zone. Some people are not used to sometime the way I speak. But one thing about me is everything that I do in love. I have tried to, with all that I've been going through. And I really wanted to say something to Wanda Walker. I can relate to what she's going through because I too have experienced exactly what she's experiencing. After being shot point blank range with a sawed-off shotgun, and it still bothers me to this day. I am currently seeing a therapist because I recently have had some reoccurrence. So I was diagnosed again with PTSD and manic depression. So I am currently under doctor's care. I am on 3 medications. It's just not something that I talk about because, like she said, some things we have to work. We have to work the faith. So I push and I continue to go on. I work through it. It just got to a point to where I just knew that I couldn't do it on my own anymore. because they make us out to be these strong people. But sometimes I need someone outside myself to talk to. Need someone outside my family. I need someone that, can really help me dig deep into the things, to the root of the things that truly are bothering me. Like, I'm dealing with some unforgiveness because I thought I had forgave my ex-husband, but the more and more I dig deep, I haven't. So that is something that I'm working on, because I truly want to be in a place where, God would bless me, and I don't want to be carrying anything that would hinder me from those blessings and the things that I know that He has for me. I understand that things happen and some things come to get you off track. I understand that there was a distraction because the enemy peeked into my future and he saw the great things that God had in store for me. So that was something that he used to try to set me back, to try to be a stumbling block. But I used those things because if I had not experienced the things that I experienced, I wouldn't be able to even be here on this podcast today. I wouldn't have the podcast network. I wouldn't have the magazine. I wouldn't have the books. I wouldn't have all of the platforms that I'm allowed to be a part of if I not experienced the things that I've went through. So I take those experiences and the things that I have endured, and I try to use them as teaching teaching opportunities, where if I see someone else experiencing something that I've been through, I can share them how I got through it. So that is where do you practice what you preach come in play, because I can't tell someone else to trust God if I don't trust Him. I can't tell someone else to walk in faith, to press if I don't do it. But understanding that there's work behind everything that we do. If you truly want to be healed, you have to put in that work. That means if you got to take the medication, you got to be on the medication, and then you got to weed yourself off the medication. You got to go to the therapy. You got to do the exercises. You got to do the things that will help you go to the next level and will help with your rehabilitation. So that's just a little bit. So yeah, to answer your question.
Well, I appreciate you for that question, and I will say something, but we got caller 3 and Q. Can you tell me who you are and where you calling from?
It's Wanda again. I asked Dr. O to bring me back on. And wow, listening to you tonight and what Angela just said, it's going to be okay. Let me hear. Let me talk. I refuse. I refuse to get out because when it happened to me, I was running a daycare. I switched my whole life around because of this situation. Because those kids meant everything to me. And what came to my mind was, if I admit that I need help, then they might label me, and then I might not be able to be the director of my own daycare. And that happened April the 6th, 2022. I think it was 2017 or 2018. Someone actually tried to rob me. Save a lot. Made the news and everything. And in 2008, a tenant put a gun to my head 3 times. And that stemmed from me telling him he couldn't beat on his wife. And Dr. O knows me when I say I refuse, because I'm the generation that doesn't believe in laying on the couch. And I know you all are going to say that I should, but I don't. I just want to get past this. just want to get past it. And I rather, believe it or not, instead of being on the couch telling someone I don't even know what my issues are, because that's not relatable to me. I'd rather have the proper protocols and procedures in place and fight for that, those policies and stuff, so that this doesn't happen to someone else. This is ridiculous. This is 4 years. I just won this last case about 2 months ago, and Muti was with me, so he is my witness. That's 4 years of fighting this. And I just started not having 1 to 4 nightmares every single night. So the last 2-3 weeks, I might get through 1 or 2 nights without any nightmares. This has caused breathing problems and health problems, weight gain, and everything else. I'm saying this because Unique, I feel what you're saying. But I just want to say that sometimes, and everything to me is pre-COVID, post-COVID. COVID really messed me up. I had a plan, a mission. I was on a roll. I knew exactly what I was doing and who I was doing it for. And then they shut everything down. And with what the shutdown did with COVID, and it's not a Trump thing. It's not going there. It's way past Trump. Because he was literally trying to tell us not to take those shots. But the stuff that they did to us, the PPA loans were set up and everything else, and I didn't touch any of that. But when it came time to reopen, it was like you had to start all over again. And when you just put 8 or 9 straight years into a new business, and if you've ever run a business, you know the first 5-10 years, you don't have a life. You don't have a life, you don't have anything. You're doing 12, 16-hour days, 6-7 days a week. And to have to start all over again. And then when you go to the simple people that are supposed to help you and represent you, they don't. They don't. And that's the passion that you always hear from me. Instead of me talking about or opening up like I'm doing now, because everybody thinks I'm Superwoman anyway. I told Yolanda that today. I said, nobody's going to believe I have issues because I always make things happen until I stop breathing or I'm in the hospital. But I'd rather channel that frustration and my passion to help other people into exposing the corruption and the people that keep letting us down and selling us out. This stuff shouldn't be happening. In 2008, when we had a different DA, that person ended up doing 8 years. This DA, the person did less than 5 months and came out looking for it. So thank you for sharing again.
Okay, let me say this, and I want you to know this wholeheartedly. My show is not a bashing show. That's not what my show is about. It's important. I just want to let you know this. Today is a fresh start for you, and you are stronger and resilient and more capable than you realize. You know, we all go through things. But take things one step at a time, plus your ability to handle whatever comes your way, and know that God is behind you. To give yourself time to breathe, pace yourself, and just focus on today. Each day is a new day. Focus on that day. Don't worry about yesterday. Just focus on the new day coming.
Amen.
And we have another caller in queue, hopefully. And if you would like to join this conversation, dial in at 605-562-0444. ID 546-1150. Press 1 pound to join. 1 pound to listen. Star 2 to join the conversation with me and Queen Angela. And, you know, a lot of times in life, some people need to take their own advice when they're giving it to you. And like I say, practice what you preach, or otherwise don't preach it. So that's what I have to say on that. You know, are a lot of times, are you doing what you tell others to do? Where do we fail at? I'm talking about me, you, anybody. Find daily habits that match the advice that you're giving others. What do you think about that, Ansel?
That is that's one of the narratives that I use for my Mind Your Legacy campaign. So understanding when I talk about legacy, a lot of people think that it is what people remember when you're gone. But every day you should be creating legacy. And we should be, transforming every day. We should be, trying to be the best version of ourselves every day, every single day. Um, Living by example, being that change that we desire to see in this world. So we have to understand that change begins and ends with us. And sometimes things are gonna get hard. But because it gets hard does not mean that we abandon ship. When things begin to get hard, you have to understand that your blessing is right around the corner. And if you stop before, you may never walk into your blessing. Some people just don't realize how blessed they are. They got blessings hanging all around them, but they keep giving up. Every time an obstacle come up, every time something comes up, they throw in the towel. They back down. They look at what other people are doing and think that they cannot live up to other people's expectation. When you realize that you have purpose and that you have a journey, then you can walk in that and understand that everybody's journey is not the same. There's no two people on this planet that is the same. I don't care if you are a twin. I have twin nephews and they are not the same. Matter of fact, they are total opposite. Total opposite. They don't like the same drinks. They don't like the same activities. When they were in school, one played in the band, one played football. One is a firefighter, is a chief of the fire department, and the other one, he worked two jobs. He'd rather work in a plant. He decided that that's what he wanted to do. He liked the physical part of working in a plant. So we have to understand what our journey is, and live it, and not worry about the next person. So lead by example. Those things that you instill in other people. You have to be that example for them.
Wow. I can't believe that, so close to the same thing because I was just getting ready to say before you brought that up. Do you know how to be fair? Or are you one sided? Do you hold yourself to the strict rules or do you apply it just to other people? The rules that you apply to other people, do you live by? Do you want me to do this a certain way and tell me to do this a certain way? Or do you use those same rules to apply it in your life? You can't preach to me and try to teach me to do something a certain way when you're not even living by it. You want me to go out and get that ball straight, but you don't even hit the ball straight. You want me to be mean and hateful when that's not a part of me. But see, a lot of people want to chunk the rock and hide their hand. They don't practice what they preach. Want to give you all and dictate you how to do this and that and when and where and how. But do they do it? No, they don't. They just want to keep telling you what to do, but they don't even do it. So learn to practice what you preach. Is my advice realistic? Are you really being realistic? I talk to myself as well as I talk to other people. Or were you asking me or what I'm asking you? Am I being realistic about it? Am I setting standards that are too possible, or are they too high that other people can't meet them as achievers? Caller 4, you're in Q. Can you tell me who you are and where you calling from? Caller 4? Okay.
All right, go.
Hello there. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Wonderful show tonight. This is Kiana Speaks. I just want to say thank you guys for sharing your pain. I did want to, say my heart goes out to, all the you ladies had to endure. I've had to endure a lot myself. I do understand. Even now, I suffer from PTSD from certain things. I didn't even realize it. Literally, just the other day, it hit me. From my reaction to something. I'm like, wow. But I would say this. If hopefully Wanda is still going, I want to say that therapy, there's nothing wrong with that. I think we gotta stop making it as if it's a bad thing. Let me tell you something. I started it because I had my house broken into. And I wasn't home when it happened. I'm not sure. I keep hearing like a noise or something. Like what do you call it? I wasn't home when it happened. However, I was always worrying if the person would come back or so, because what they did is they left a lockbox on my door. I had moved in, so I didn't even know the keys or what. I didn't discover. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay.
On the main line, just get the thing talking.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. So, like I discovered my bike was missing. It was brand new, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I mean somebody was in here. So it just made me feel. So for a whole year, I put an alarm up the cameras, but anytime I heard somebody walking up the steps or something like that, it was a condo. It was like, oh my gosh, like I was so like scared, and it really had a really bad effect on me. So I actually, went and found a therapist, and she's absolutely amazing. I still talk to her to this day about so many things, about family issues and things. And let me tell you, if you find the right one, it can help navigate your thoughts in a way that you might not be able to do it. And I always felt like I was a person who was able to navigate my thoughts in a way that, like I think outside the box. This lady is absolutely amazing. She helps me understand the behaviors of those around me. She helps me put things in different perspectives. And sometimes our pain is the perspective that we have is why we still hold on to it. I'll give you just an example of, let's just say we feel betrayed by someone and we hold on to it. But sometimes if you look deeper into the picture, it's sometimes we do create those things in our mind that I'm not saying that people don't have trauma, but sometimes I'm realizing a lot of people around me, and even just with one family, not just because of a family member, they're always making themselves a victim with certain things. Like they had a vehicle that was on a friend's property, and the friend kept contacting them, and they didn't want to be bothered, and the friend was trying to sell the house. So the friend had to sell the vehicle because they wanted to sell the house, and they kept reaching out to them. So now they're like, I can't believe, that person did it to me. They sold my vehicle, and I'm like, no, that's your fault because this person reached out to everybody before they did that, and you didn't want to contact them. So they're supposed to allow your vehicle to stay on their property so they can't sell their house. Like, no, that's a little bit of entitlement, So sometimes it's a matter of perspective, and sometimes it's a matter of forgiveness, allowing to forgive yourself for not because the other person deserves it, but also forgiving ourselves for allowing us, to stay in situations too long, or just even being kind to people who maybe didn't deserve it, because we might want to see the people as we see ourselves, Because if we have a good heart, we're still thinking everybody else has a good heart. I had to learn that myself. Like, not everybody's mean. I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to try to go out my way to hurt anybody at all. I have a family member, which I don't even, I don't associate with them so much, but there's definitely friction amongst that side of the family where they're trying to actively get another family member put out of their house on purpose out of revenge. And it's like, I can't be a part of that. That's not me. So it's like that's a continuous cycle. It's like you have to free your mind. So if therapy can help you lay everything on the table, it's like imagine all the things inside of your head inside of a pocketbook. And if you're a man, imagine all the things you like inside of a bag. And all those things, you turn the bag upside down and they all fall out on the table, on the bed, or wherever they fall out, on the floor. And the therapy can help you organize those things and put them in place and make them nice and neat. So that way you can be a better person for yourself. So sometimes your kids deserve it. I wish my own mom, I wish she went to therapy because I realized how much of my life was stolen by me having to live through her thoughts and things that may have not existed or just things. So sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Now it might be not the first person you meet. I had one that I did not like at all. Like she was just very judgmental, me being in pain. I remember I came in there, that's a long, long time ago, and I came in with heels and she's like judging me, telling me like I'm not in pain. Because that doesn't mean I'm not in pain. Like I still want to look at it, So it's just, and she really turned me off, but I didn't stop it because I know she's not the only one out there. I just want to just encourage anybody listening out there, like, don't be ashamed. I'm not ashamed that I talk to somebody at all because it helps me organize my thoughts. It is like, and sometimes it's a relief. And if you really, really, really don't want to talk to anybody, get a journal. You can get a Rocky journal off of Amazon for like $20. Write your thoughts down, whatever you're feeling that day, whatever's bothering you, whatever happened that day that you don't like. Or if you're thinking about a loved one, you just write all that stuff down because all that stuff can manifest into health issues that you don't even know you have. You can't understand why this is happening in your body or that's happening. So that's just what I want to say. I thank you for giving me their time, but my heart does go out to you guys and anybody listening. If you need somebody to talk to, you can reach out to me at Speaks Radio on Instagram or Facebook. And again, I am Tiana. Thank you, Tiana, for tuning in, and I appreciate everything that you said. Do you feel like a lot of people won't accept the fault or tune into the fault that they have made when they try to preach to other people? Do you think they just stand 10 toes down on whether it's wrong? Everything wrong, they try to make it right, and everything right, they try to make it wrong. How do you feel this type of people? Oh my God, I just dealt with that. I realize there's a lot of people that I know do not want to be accountable. And a lot of times I think it's whatever they've done in their life, a lot of times they're very guilty for it. So it's a lot of them trying to, like, their way of dealing with it is to try to navigate somebody else because they can't control their own self. They can't control their own self. They can't go back and fix whatever they did. So they put the control on somebody else, telling them what to do. And, that sometimes is a way for them to escape accountability. What I do is I just call it right out because I don't have time for that no more. Like I had a lot of patience and I still do have patience, but for certain people, if you've been doing stuff for years and years and years, it's a family member of mine. We just got into an argument the other day because I'm like, you're never wrong about anything. And it is like, that is one of the hardest people to deal with when they can never be wrong about anything. And I stood my ground. You don't have to, when you tell somebody how you feel, the one mistake that I would say that people make is telling somebody how you feel and expecting the reaction that you want from them. You tell them how you feel to get it off of your chest. Don't expect any reaction that you think you should get. because that person might not be mature enough to give you that. You gotta realize that when you say that. So how I deal with it is I tell you straight. I just told one of my family members like that. I'm like, you're damn manipulative right now, and they couldn't take it, and they just hung up the phone. And I just laughed. I don't feel anything. I even take that on the chest,
Right.
Well, I appreciate you.
That is so right.
Telling me. Angela, what do you have to say about it, Queen?
I agree with everything she said. Like, that is so right. Like, nobody want to be accountable for their wrongs. And it's like they try to push, they try to control. What that's called? When you try to fix other people. What is that called? What is that called? It's a disorder. Enabling.
Yes.
So
You're
they codependency. That's what it is. They think that they can fix other people. And it's usually the things that is wrong in their lives. And they try to see it in other people, and it may not even be in other people, but they think they can fix other people because they are not accountable for themselves. That's my thought. That's my thought. But Tiana, she made some great points. She made some great points. She dropped some good nuggets. I am transparent. I don't expect more from anyone than I expect from myself. If I'm not living up to the standard that I have for myself, then I can't expect nobody else to. So we have to have a standard. We have to have boundaries, things that we will and will not accept. And we have to have that for ourselves, and then we have to have it for the people that we deal with.
okay. Deal with when they don't apply the practice they preach rules. How do you deal with them? And do you just count them out, or do you just get away from around them, or do you just move away? Just move out the way and let them do them.
So if you're gonna have an expectation out of me, then I expect the same out of you. If you want me to be 100, then I expect you to be 100. So that you expect of someone else, I expect you to do the same in return. And if you're not doing that, then I distance myself. I really distance myself because we have to learn how to protect our own peace, because no one else truly cares about your peace. So you have to learn how to protect your own peace in every situation.
We got to, because at the end of the day, if I tell you, well, I want you to do this, this, and this, and I'm not doing it, why am I preaching to you? I can't teach you something that I'm not doing. That's being
Hypocritical.
yes, yes, you being a hypocrite. I was trying to find another word, but I guess it ain't no other word but hypocrite. You want me to do this a certain way, but then you're not doing it. You want to preach to me and tell me to do it, but you're not doing it. So that's a double standard. That's a double standard. How can you tell me, I want you to put this in the book this way, and you're not doing?
Yeah, we have to do.
I am in several books with you and love the books because teamwork makes the dream work. It's no big eyes, no little you. We're together. We do it as a team, and I know that you're not gonna have me to do something that you wouldn't do. That's being hypocrite. You're right.
Yeah.
And only what you do for Christ will last. And just like God have angels in place, the devil has serpents too. He'll steal and destroy. They try to ruin your happiness. So how can you preach to me when you're not teaching me the right way?
And then you have to put yourself, we have to understand this too, that everybody has a journey. And we have to figure out what our journey is. And then we have to take the steps and the necessary things to fulfill that journey. Because expectation and what other people think of us at the end of the day is not going to matter, because when you stand before him, he's only going to honor the things that you've done for him. So when we embark upon this journey, we have to make sure that we are doing things that are pleasing to the one that created us. We can't live up to everybody's expectation, because guess what? Somebody is not going to be pleased. That's called a person that is trying to please everybody. And one thing I'm not is a person pleaser. I am not a people pleaser. I believe in operating in the gifts and talents that was placed within me. I don't believe in keeping up with the Joneses, the Pauls, the Cunninghams, and all them other people. I believe that my journey is my journey, and I have to learn how to keep up with me, because guess what? I'm still trying to figure out everything that I'm supposed to be doing, because I ain't got it all together. Some people may look at you and think that you got it all together, and lose focus on what they're supposed to be doing, because they looking at what I'm doing, thinking that I got it all together, yet I'm still in pieces and shambles. So every day is a learning process. It's a growing process. It's another opportunity for us to be able to get right those things that we didn't get right on yesterday, and to make an impact in this opportunity in this day. Because guess what? We're not going to see that day again. We only see that day one time, because every day is a new day. And there's always going to be a tomorrow. Tomorrow never gets here. So you got to live in the now. You got to live in the day.
And I say it all the time, don't put off what you can do today for tomorrow, because tomorrow might not never come. And just because I get up at 4 a.m. every morning, don't mean you can get up at 4 a.m. every morning and do the task that I'm doing. But I can't preach to you and say, well, Angela, I get up at 4 a.m., you need to do this, 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 you should have done that. Okay, but how can I tell you to get what I've done at 4 a.m. when you still sleep? I can't preach to you, because you might not have the ability or the capacity to do what I did at 4 a.m. Your wake up might be at 12 noon. So I can't expect for you to do what I did. I can't preach to you something that I don't even give you opportunity to tell me the reason why. I just expect for you to do it. And that's not right. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I won't even do myself. That's just me. I will have compassion towards you to say, okay, well, maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe she's not feeling well today. If something is off, let me give her time to process whatever she's going through before I just jump on her like it doesn't even matter. Your feelings matter to me. Everybody's feelings matter to me. But a lot of times, people preach to me all the time. They don't never know what I have going on, but they don't care. Long as I get what they need done, and that's why I fell back on my job. I let a lot of my clients go. I let a lot of people. I dismissed them out of my life because they didn't care about what I was going on. Let me see. Let me see if I can ask Dr. Ngozi. Do you practice what you preach?
You'll bring on the show. Well, would want. Sleep. You know, it's no longer, you know, what people are really generating, you know, what's going on, goes into that man. So that's why she, you know, she don't have to investigate. That's why she's doing the and straight. Running a force will connected to a community. This morning was not the case. We had some from hosts, current hosts, hosts, campaign hosts, award-winning hosts. We had three, you know, when, you know, because they want to really do the job as hosts. Okay. Being transparent, you know, birthday more, more, huh? You got that receipt, right? Right. Yeah. So, the answer would be, question really? Answer.
So, from the time that I have known him, and from what I have seen, um, he started this network in 2013. I've heard and I've seen how he have showed up for the shows. I remember when I first came on, we were having shows every 2 weeks. We were having to come on twice a month when I first started. So to be on once a month every 4 weeks, and giving other people an opportunity. One thing I can say is he has afforded a space for many people to come and share their voices and to allow them to be creative with their shows. I can say that many people have come and gone, and I look at the ones that are still here, the ones that are truly dedicated and willing to grow. I've been here for 6 years, and I have enjoyed the process. I've learned how to operate my own network from being around some amazing people. He put me in the midst of Jerry Petito and Huni Bakatoon, which pushed me outside of the box because I had to show up. I remember coming on, and my goal was to take Jerry's crown every time we came on, because I knew that once I took her crown, Huni was gonna take mine, and that was just a joke that we had. So every week I was challenged to get Jerry's crown. because I knew Hooney was gonna come behind me and take mine. But it pushed me. It pushed me to a level that I know that the stars is not the limit, that there's more beyond what we can see if we just keep going. So I was afforded the opportunity to create the network that I now have with, I think we got 10 hosts, but I would not have been in that position if he had not seen something in me when I came on the show as a guest. And I thank him for the opportunity. Um, Showing up is one of those characters that he have, those characteristics that he has. And it is one that I took. Um, Even when I'm sick, I show up because I know that there's a level of expectation and a level of that we have to live up to because we never know who's watching us. So yeah, I can say he has lived up to preaching, living what he preached with the network. And I thank him for being that example for a lot of us. So that's where I stand with that.
Well, thank you for your input. And Dr. O, yes, you stand your ground, but my thing is, uh, what are the expectations of you preach and practice what you preach about your host and what you expect out of them that you expect out of yourself?
Wow. Great Taylor said something real deep. Years ago, I love it when Great Taylor, great Taylor, he just said 3 words. He said, what do you think of me and what I've done? Greatness, love, love. You know, look, not being when I'm looking in the mirror and I believe, you know, going through my country and, doing degrees and that. Never forget. When I got my master's from the University of Southern California in 2009, I got a master's in communication with my book with it. A lot of people don't talk about this. You know, when you get a degree at a higher level and you're not using it, you know, the only person that really can talk about this is my business partner, the general business partner of the network. She knows it. You know, times when I'm like, wow, that's a degree. Time it was cloudy, right? Right, and you know, I'm like, well, you know, one more patient. You know, doctor, okay, this, you know, right? Which talking, you know, radio talk, you know, people just laughing and joking, you know what I mean? You know, clear fooling, right? And so it's like one day I look at the okay, what is this blog talk radio? What is this? You know, I said, look at my thing, okay? 2016, in September. You know, told the partner at the time, said, listen, I found this thing called blog talk. We're always, shooting the breeze all the time. He's talking about it all the time. Why don't we tell the world what we talking about? I said, no, don't get me butt. We can do this. One person said, okay. One person said, go back in the archives, you know that person is. Started, playing and, we started, how they made productions and we were practicing when we had a split. And, in January 2016, you know what? People, about this sort of burnout, doing something Angie. Well, I can't do this. I need a right? So, you know what? Find people that are like-minded and love for broadcasting like you do. Freaking on the radio. With people like Abraham Jones, Ian Turner, Antonio, Nancy Dennis, first ever broadcaster, Caleb and he lived in Costa Rica. Okay? Right, Andy? You remember Simeon, right? Right? These guys, right? Lovely Ellis, Darlene Lawrence. Look, about that, Angie, a lot of people don't even know what we're talking about, right, Angie?
Right.
Leah Love. These are the charter members of this great network. Without that crew, and that no pun intended to the crew podcast, I'm talking about the original crew.
I was just gonna say, they got it going on over there at the crew podcast, but they on point over there. I give Queen Angela her kudos because she's doing it over there. She's doing it over there big, and plus with the Arthur Central, she's doing it high maintenance over there. So I got to tip my hat to her as well, Angela. You are doing your thing, and I am so proud of you and Dr. O. I salute to you.
Yeah, hold on. Going back to that charter era, okay? That's started. None of you guys be on the air waiting for that charter era. The guys that came on, man, every night, not every other week, Angie, every week they did shows to build this network. And then it grew and it grew and it grew. So the question is, like you asked me, what is it? Man, love. You gotta love this thing. We have alumni that still, come. Jerry Casito, who always support the plan. You know what I'm saying? So that's a blessing in itself to, to connect these people who need to help us. People like that were just enough to give us the healthy wooden mortality. Right? It's a wonderful thing, man. Like, people that have a love for it, who want to be better. Started an internship in 2019 because thought they didn't just come here and just play around. No. You have to earn it. Starting commissions in 2019. Person understands the business aspect, goes to that level. Like you just said, sometimes it's mixed. People, people in radio before she's a blue chip. There's a Tito, a blue chip. You had Lamar Steph, a blue chip. Tony Nakatoon, a blue chip. These guys already have established. Blue chip. There's people that have been, seasons, living the great season, who had following over 1 million people because they came in, right? Blue chip. Then you have people that learn the lesson and they practice. Okay? The Thomas Smith, the Wanda Walker, Ladaro and Mike Penny, they're blue chippers. They already have their thing going on. You know what I mean? So there's great people that have the ability to, to laugh. He's a blue chipper. So, we have to have people like that, on the network. we all have the same love to this day. You know, when you're able to participate in a network that's been here and this season, you know, there's no love nonsense. The one and only Denver radio. And yes, we have, you know, lost some things. You know, one lost a big, you know, honestly, you know, we just feel about, you know, what's going on now. You know, one five game we'll be able to play our music and have a good time. So, you know, you know, Saturday off. You know, work 6 days a week. And, elevate, you know, and the fact that in training, you know, yeah, girl. I mean, you know, you ask me that question, love. That's the answer, love. Good enough for me.
That's fine. If we have any more people that would like to join you,
Let's go ahead and get the person on the line. This person is from California, a correctional facility. He's a person on network.
can you tell me who you
Everybody, Ladaro Montreal Clinic. Second, one half of Fill Your Cup with myself and Mikey P. We have our show on Thursday coming up. But I just wanted to support you guys, man. Just the love that you guys are sharing and everything that you guys are saying, I really appreciate that. Sometimes we need to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Just that alone inspires the spirit. You know, because now you guys are talking life into all of us. So I really appreciate that personally. Um, man, keep putting out that powerful message. Keep putting out the correct knowledge because the world needs to hear your truth. You know, because your truth is correct knowledge. And so I just want to just come here and just support you, for Dr. Rowe, and anybody and everybody that's part of this WBNN network.
thank you so much. Love you.
And I love you more.
Do we have any more callers in queue that would like to chime in with this conversation with me and Queen Angela before the show ends? We would love to hear from you guys. Okay, Queen Angela, is there anything that you would like to pour into my soul to make me a better me? Teach me and
What?
make me be a great me.
Um, just keep doing what you're doing. That's all we can do. Keep being the person that you know that you have been called to be. Live up to your own expectations. I say if we set our own expectations, then we can adjust, we can adapt as needed, and stop trying to live up to others. But that we expect others to do, we should be able to do those same things. I do want to give a shout out to Shanette. She has been tuned in the whole time. She came in when we first went live, and she just wanted to let you know that she is supporting, and she appreciate what you do over here on the network. She's not always able to call in, but she was on the entire show tonight. Um, just be encouraged. That's all I want to say.
You both going through some of the most wholest of trials and tribulations. You both have had your own individual journeys. And throughout that journey, the things that was meant to break you, it didn't. It might have made you shed tears. It might have made you go through stressful times. It might have had the hair even turn gray. Guess what? You rise, you survive, and you became better and stronger. I want you ladies to know that you are more powerful than you realize. You are already ordained by the armor of God to overcome any obstacle designed to impede your progress. You are protected. And the reason why I know this is because I am a reflection of you. And you ladies are a reflection of me. Never think that because life is getting rough, that life is getting hard. Even Job went through some things. And you know what he did? He walked by faith, not by sight. Everything was restored in the end. Believe me when I tell you, there's people going through worse things than you are. And so when we walk our journey and the struggles and the battles and everything else, the tragedy, we should walk with gratitude because he taught us how to be strong in our circumstance so we can teach others how to be stronger in their circumstance. You ladies are truly blessed. I just want to just remind you ladies of that. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
I will pick you and kiss you and tell me who you are and where you're calling from. Hello, my sister. This is Jeanette, and I'm calling from Denver, Colorado right now. Hey, how are you?
Hey, big sis.
I am doing wonderful. Hey, listen, I was just wanted to show you some love, Unique, and support you. I'm out of town right now, and I have for over the last couple of years. Well, you guys know my story and stuff. And I tried to push through the grief after my son had passed. I took on being an advocate for men and women that's in prison wrongfully, and I was doing good up until Carmelo Anthony, and that took a lot out of me. Then I started back trying to, get my footing back. And then now we have the other baby, and our young man is coming up missing, and that took a toll on me because of, I found my son unresponsive. He had congestive heart failure, and when he went to sleep, he just didn't wake back up. And by the time I found my son, rigor mortis had already set up in him. And every time I hear about a mother tragedy and I go on social media and I see people mocking that mother, it's like a setback to me. So I really haven't been doing what I was called to do because of other things that's going on, and I let that take a toll of me. But tomorrow, I took the biggest step. Tomorrow, I have an appointment to talk to a therapist. I have my first counseling tomorrow, and I'm going there. And I'm gonna just lay it out. And because I want to be able to get back to doing what I was called to do. I want to be able to keep my word to the people that's dependent on me. I don't want situations like this to set me back, to have me thinking about, my grief. I want to walk in the fullness that God has planned for me. Amen. Well, I appreciate you for calling in, and I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. I just appreciate all you guys for chiming in tonight, and I hope to see you soon. Caller 7, you in Q. Can you tell me who you are and where you calling from?
Looking to the Queen, this was Mikey P, the other half of the video. They're from Kansas City, Missouri. How y'all doing tonight?
All right, how you doing?
I'm well. I've been listening for about an hour to things right now. I appreciate what you are speaking on tonight. Y'all have our experience, right? I think it's important to understand that we are here for one. Out for it. Not people along the way. We'll let them like people get left behind. For me, in my experiences, I've come to learn that nobody understands anything out of one thing. Now, you're going to attract your tribe, and your vibe will attract that tribe as far as who you're going to have around you. At the end of the day, we don't have anything. We come into this world alone, we will go out of this world alone. And I think as a human being, if you can grasp that concept, things will get a little easier. There's always going to be the peaks, the valleys, and the ups and downs that come with life that is a roller coaster. But it does get a little easier once you can comprehend that concept. And at the end of the day, and at the end of it all, nobody owes us anything. Here for ourselves, we owe everything to ourselves. And that's true.
Well, I thank you for tuning in with me and Queen Angela. And I really appreciate all you guys' time there, Mikey P. And Kansas City is right up the street from me. So maybe we'll hook up in the near future, do some things together. And one thing that I want to end my show with is I never ever, if it wasn't for Queen Angela, I wouldn't be on WBNN. I give her the utmost deep respect, value for her presence to be on my show and her work into pouring into my life like she did. And you always honor friends through heartfelt words and your actions. Whether it's in public, out of public, you appreciate them. And I appreciate WBNN. And I would never not recognize her because she was the one that got me noticed on WBNN. I let her talk for her words without interrupting, without shifting the focus to me or myself. I will salute you and toast you as long as God give me breath. I salute everybody on this show, but I especially salute you because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on WBNN. Practice what I preach. For the night end, I just want to give you your flowers while you live so you can smell them. And I hope you accept them with heartfelt love coming from. It's not the ordinary, it's unique.
And I do, and I thank you I thank you, but to God be the glory, because I was just in the right place at the right time, and He allowed us to connect. He allowed us to cross paths, and then we just happened to be in the right place at the right time to allow you to cross paths with Brother O. So it was all a part of God's plan. We just happened to align with that He had already mapped out, because He knew what we was gonna encounter. So I give Him all the glory. Just keep on keeping on, sweetheart.
You know, just being able to work, your grandma, congratulations on another black cover. It's funny. Congratulations to me. With the doing one thing. Talking about, oh, don't do that. You're blocking your blessing. That you listen for a second. Because it's the spirit of the tongue. So it's important that people, you know, might have heard that and say, hey, we want to support you. They have done that. With a young lady who's here. Holly, the name is called Casual Chat, our variety show right here. It's going to be 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time on the one and only on that radio, and of course, 30 minutes to it. Go to time on time media. Instagram and text on Twitter or everyone labeling goes to our wonderful program tonight. Only. Labeling goes to everybody nurturing and mixed in over university. Now to exceptional the 2020 Tony Griffin Award winning WBnn cover of the year. The 2025 Anna Waddell Award winner the second ever host to do that in one linear year. The one outstanding seventh rating commissioner of our network, you need her.
Like I said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and only what I do for Christ will last. I'm just a phone call away. I've always had a listening ear. I will always be transparent. I will always give you real money and not counterfeit. Love me and let me love on you a little bit. To God, let us see each other, listen to each other again. I pour all my blessings to each and every one of you. Love you guys and thank you.
Your line has been disconnected by the moderator. Goodbye.